Good day, students. This will be the start of a series of videos which will upload on the various platforms like Moodle, Google Classroom, and over WhatsApp. When you log in on Moodle, use your student number as your username and password. Now, the whole objective of loading the videos with the notes and the questions that I gave you in classroom is to assist you in preparation for your assessment, whether it be the internal assessment or the external assessment. And it's also for those students who's not in class for various reasons, so that you can go back to it, refer back to the videos and the notes. So, as you know, when we started the semester, we started with chapter 7, from chapter 7, which is the start of the sales process. And the reason for that is because the AM covers the whole sales or selling process. Now, the selling or the sales process started with chapter 7, which was prospecting. Now, the sales process, like I said, started with prospecting and it ended with the after-sales service. Now, prospecting was chapter 7. Planning the presentation, which was the pre-approach, was chapter 8. The approach towards the sales is chapter 9. The sales presentation, chapter 10. Handling of objections, chapter 11. The sales close, chapter 12. And after-sales service is chapter 13. Now, the notes for chapter 7 has slightly been changed for various reasons. Now, when you will see the chapter 7 notes that you have is not the same as the one here in the video, but I will hand you out a new copy of chapter 7 when you return. Also, new work will also be uploaded, especially when you're on the 1 week on and 1 week off situation that we currently find ourselves in. Now, chapter 7 deals with prospecting. What is prospecting? Prospecting mainly has to do, prospecting is when you try and find new customers to add to your existing client base. Now, like I said in class, prospecting, the whole sales process, is aimed at finding new customers. So prospecting is when you look for new customers. Now, prospecting techniques. Prospecting is the first step in the personal selling process. Now, you cannot sell something if you don't have customers, and you cannot continuously depend on your existing customers to increase your business in terms of income and profit. So you continuously need to have new customers, especially now that there are competitors and you have various ways of, clients has various ways of buying goods and services, and no customer is guaranteed. So you continuously have to look for new clients. Prospecting is the identification of a person or business that has a need, authority, and a means to pay for the product. Effective prospecting enables salesperson to spend time on presentation and successful closing of the transaction. Prospecting means lead generation using prospecting techniques. Now, the outcome of a sales process is to eventually sell the product, but a lot of things has to happen before you can eventually close the deal. Now, prospecting, all of us would like to have things or buy things, but there's a couple of things that the salesperson has to look at in order to be successful in selling. Firstly, does the person have the need? Sometimes the person can have the need, but might not have the authority. Sometimes, and this is the biggest problem, sometimes the customer has the need, has the authority, but does not have the means or the money to pay for the product. There are various prospecting techniques, and this is where the current notes that I have here in this video differs from the ones that you were given in class. So you have your endless chain technique, you have the direct prospecting technique and the telephone, you have personal contact and observation, you have business leads, you have influence centers, prospective lists, social media, publications, newspapers and trade journals, and spotters. So we're going to look at each individual technique in this video. Your endless chain, that already tells you it's never stopping or never ending. The technique is used to find a customer for any type of product or service. This technique we built into each sales presentation and is done in the following way. Salesperson get the name or names of friends, family from customers to whom the salesperson is selling the product. Now, when you do a presentation and somebody buys from you, or even if somebody doesn't buy from you, always ask the prospective customer, do they know of anyone else who would like to make use of your product or service? And they will then give you the contact details. Now, this is either done at the beginning or at the end, and it's advisable to have it done at the end of the presentation. Then we have the advantages of the chain, of the endless chain technique. Just a quick reminder, when we ask, or when they ask in the exam to explain something or give a definition of something, please do not include advantages or examples. Similarly, when they ask you for advantages, just give the advantages. Now, the advantages of the endless chain technique is a satisfied customer is a good reference. Now, when you do a presentation well and somebody's happy with the way you did the presentation, the after sales service, they will always recommend you to other prospective customers. And what does that do? Less time is then spent in finding new customers or approaching new customers, and appointments are easier to obtain. Sometimes the prospective client will contact you to come do a presentation or sell a product or service. The second technique we're going to look at is the direct prospecting or the telephone. Next step we're going to look at in prospecting is direct and the telephone. Also known as door-to-door selling or cold canvassing, prospective client is approached without prior knowledge or appointment or making sure a person is actually a prospective client. Now, this one is not advisable to use this technique. And like I said in class, when you go and try and sell something, especially with business in the formal sector, they make use of people in a buying team. And those people in the buying team work strictly on appointments. The technique is not suitable for selling expensive products like jewelry. Technique must be applied correctly and be planned effectively, and sales talk must be short and stimulate interest and attention of the client. So when you go and approach somebody without them knowing you're going to come, whether it's where you're going to visit them physically or where you have an online visit or where you just call them, it needs to be short and to the point. Examples of direct selling is when you go to house, where you use the telephone, visit to educational institutions and hospitals. Now, direct prospecting and the telephone continued. Direct prospecting by telephone is also a very effective tool if used correctly to locate prospective clients. And it is used effectively these days. There's a lot of thought and planning put into when you use a telephone to phone or contact prospective clients. When using the telephone, the salesperson voice and tone he or she conveys will determine if the client will listen. There is a different set of rules how you do sales using the telephone. Personal contact. Social contact with friends, family, neighbors, and business acquaintances are a good source of finding prospective clients. If they need the salesperson's product or services. I just want to correct that to make it like that. If they do not use your product or service, they be used as a reference. Now, we all know that most companies, most people have a social presence on Facebook, WeChat, and Instagram, etc. Personal observation, the ear and eye approach is an alert salesperson uses is excellent in finding prospective client. It requires careful listening to what people say and talk about. Conversations in an elevator, what's said at social events, grapevine chats at sports events. That's where you get a lot of sort of contacts, or you meet a lot of people. You might not be there for business purposes. You might be there at a social event or to socialize or relax, but you carefully listen to what's said and then you can react on what is being said. Business leads, business records. Now, this has got to do where you get the names of prospective clients from the business. The business gives you the lead. Business records, information stored in the business records and on his computers provides valuable information in connection with previous sales to certain clients. The salesperson analyzes information and tries to derive a so-called each cycle with each client. Records such as service reports from service staff also help selling products. Accounts department has records of inactive clients that has not bought for a while. Salesperson must contact these clients to inquire why they're not buying from the company anymore. Now, the business records keeps the details of people that buy something. For example, in the motor industry and in the cell phone industry. Now, remember, in the motor industry, just like in the cell phone and the industry that sells electronic devices, they normally upgrade the models. So what happens here is, when somebody buys something from you, you normally contact them or send them an SMS or WhatsApp to tell them you got a new improved version. Now, what does that do? That brings me to the itch cycle. When you inform somebody or somebody sees something, they normally itch to have it after X amount of years. And then that's what you can take advantage of as a salesperson. Business leads and aids, inquiries by letter, telephone, email, and coupons are given to salespeople to do a follow-up. So what the business do, they send them emails or send them a message or sends them a letter or coupons in order to do a follow-up on prospective clients or even existing clients. Inquiries are called hot. Prospective clients, as making inquiries, prospective client realizes a need exists and he or she is interested. So the business does the hard work in terms of identifying who are the hot leads in terms of prospective clients. Referrals by other salespeople. Referrals can be obtained from a colleague of a salesperson who sells other product lines or working in other areas. So you could be working for the same company and they give you leads on prospective clients who they think might buy the type of products you're selling, because in the industry, in the sales industry, not every salesperson works in the same area or sells the same products. Direct mail and brochures. Most businesses distribute e-brochures, advertisement, catalogs, price lists, and special offers regularly via email, website, or on the business app. Now, this whole business leads is about where the business supports the salesperson in obtaining prospective clients. All the prospective clients, all the salesperson must do is follow up on those prospective clients. So the salesperson don't actually look, the business looks. And this applies to new customers and existing customers. Shows and exhibitions. This is where you have normally businesses have shows or they have these little stalls at expos or events or even in shopping malls. It takes place from time to time, can take place at national or international levels. People visit various forms of exhibitions like your home expo, your Decorex, your boat shows, trade shows, motor shows. And normally you will see new products or improved versions of the products. And they make it known to the clients where, when, and where it's going to be held, the date and the time. And normally experienced salespeople are used at these kinds of events to answer questions and demonstrate the product. And the salesperson will get the name of prospective clients and even existing clients and get them and contact them at a later stage. Influence centers, like I explained in class, it's a person or person's organization that has gained the respect at the administration of the communities, and they are used to find the clients. So what happens is, because like with the celebrities or sports personalities, those kind of people make use of the product, it makes the salesperson's job easier in selling the product to new clients. So it's like the personalities are doing the job for the salesperson in getting new customers. Prospective list. The prospective list, difference between direct prospecting and prospecting list is, with a prospective list, is that the prospective client has been qualified to a certain extent. These are organizations that sell a list of names of prospective clients to companies and salesperson whom they think will buy their products. So what do they do with this prospective list? You're only focusing on prospective clients who has the need, who has the authority, and who has the needs to pay, and who has the means to pay for the product. So they take away the unwanted customers who cannot afford, who do not have the authority, who has a need but not the authority and doesn't have the means. So they separating those customers already for the salesperson. Social media, businesses have a social media presence. Most businesses, like I said in class, and like I'm saying on this video, most businesses in the formal sector and even in the informal sector, but like I said, with sales, we're only focusing on business in the formal sector. So all businesses in the informal sector have a social media presence. It can either be on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. And what do is they normally see which ones attract the most followers, and then they put on a lot of things on that platform, but they don't neglect the other platforms. Salesperson can use social media to interact with prospective clients in real time. Now this happens on WhatsApp, when a lot of businesses are using WhatsApp, and then normally when you make use of this, you will see there's a response immediately. Salesperson can build extensive network using social media platforms. Publication, newspapers, and trade journals. Just like there is a presence on social media, there is a presence using print media. That's like a publications, newspapers, and trade journal. Newspapers are full of news reports and other leads, such as promotions and retirements in business column, new offices being built, new areas developed, and other matters providing leads. You will see a lot of salespeople will look at where new developments take place, because where there's new developments, there's new clients. Alert salesperson will scan newspapers for leads on prospective clients. Salespeople don't just look at social media, they use various other things like trade journals. And not every product, certain products are so specialized that you need to use a specialized platform. Newspapers could be one of those platforms, or trade journals. Magazine, trade journals, and publication may lead to prospective clients. So there's various ways or things you can use to get to new customers. Spotters. Spotters are usually junior salespeople who have the responsibility. Their job is to locate potential prospective customers and to pass them on to senior salespersons. It's like scouts. They scout for customers. Senior salesperson take on the responsibility of selling to the prospective customers. So spotters provide the name and contact details of prospective clients. So spotters have a very important role to play in getting new customers. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the first video in a series of videos, and I hope that you find this very useful. So I will communicate with you over WhatsApp whenever I'm forwarding things on the various platforms. Thank you.